And then I was like, hey, yo, you can get that foot long. Do you know what I'm saying? Brother, please, I've been waiting for this Subway for about 20 minutes. Just put the jalapenos in. Hey, yo, that's crazy. It says the game's about to kick off. Shouldn't you be there? Oh, no, I was missing something. Thank God he's out, man. Honestly, he was 2 minutes late for the first half kicking off. But wait, hang on a second. Where's the goalkeeper? So I said, here's your meatball marinara. And your sandwich, babes. You know what I'm playing now. Yo guys, it is your boy Newman here, and you are watching FTW. This of course is a series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. What's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, in the United Kingdom, new Reform UK leader Nigel Farage has been on tour, and it didn't end too well for him.
You all laughed at me.
This milkshake made a splash in his eye and also on social media. And with how he's received, the general public are already in McDonald's waiting to get in on the act as well.
What are you doing?
Me? Just hanging around.
Oh, lie, that order's looking pretty nice still. Nigel himself will be absolutely fuming. Shout out to the woman, I've got to say, but it's got to be the final straw for Nigel because everyone else wanted to do the same and they've ran out of cups and stuff. Erling Haaland was quoted as saying milk is the key to his goal scoring. Well, he'll be running over to the crime scene trying to get the last few drops knowing lactose has been wasted. On to the football though now, and where else to start but in game week 13 of the Swedish second division.
Corner taken by Kroos and flicks on by Carvajal! And Real Madrid lead the Champions League final!
Real Madrid won a 15th Champions League crown after defeating German underdogs Borussia Dortmund at Wembley.
Well, you just knew that was going to happen!
Los Blancos are officially inevitable. This is absolutely ridiculous. And take home a 6th UCL trophy in 11 years. Who were big names for the coverage, though, going into this one. Mika Richards, Thierry Henry, Kay Abdo, Dora the Explorer. Wait, hang on a second. The kids' version of the broadcast had her on the panel and was violating Thierry Henry.
Jamie, that is a hard word. Say it with me. Internazionale.
Internazionale.
Oh, you almost had it, Jamie.
This can't be a good thing. Imagine being 2-0 down and Thomas the Tank Engine starts telling you your side need to put some more effort in. Postman Pat was delighted when he was picked for CBS coverage. Now, before the match, and the streets of London were flooded with both Dortmund and Real supporters. The German side's fans had found themselves at a local Sunday league match supporting a side called Jollof Sport. Trust me, I'd be supporting them as well. And once they were into the stadium, they were letting the flares go. I can't take a bottle of Buxton in, by the way, into Wembley, but these lot can do Guy Fawkes Day from row C. All right, cool. The match would kick off and immediately... Get him off the field! Yeah, there were pitch invaders all over the gaff. Personally, I've got a theory, and that's that someone was entering the field of play looking for that treble. 28 seconds in, and we've got a guy from Camden playing central midfield. The reason this happened was apparently a Russian streamer had promised that anybody running onto the Wembley turf would earn 300k from him. The catch is, it's in rubles. So that's bad. Marcel Sabitzer put in a pretty heavy challenge trying to get him to the ground, but the game was underway and Borussia Dortmund was starting to play well when Karim Adeyemi was set to on goal.
Now, would you stop it there? We go in a little bit closer.
Yeah, nah, he fucked it. He tried to go around Thibaut Courtois. French fans were fuming. They've called him HDMI, by the way. That is outrageous. And shortly afterwards, Nicholas Füllkrug then hit the post for Dortmund as they went closer and closer, but they would be made to rue those chances. And he carved a goal. Am I right, obviously? Because, get me, his name's Carvajal. Jude Bellingham delivered a crown for Toni Kroos's head, who grabbed an assist from the corner for Carvajal's header in his final Real Madrid game. But Borussia Dortmund had a secret weapon under their sleeve, and that was Marco Reus, who would come on and see Dortmund just lose anyway, to be honest with you. They sacrificed the Champions League trophy for a top 10 respect watch mojo moment. We've got live footage of Marco being thrown straight back out of the game here. Because honestly, the guy's highlights were not one to look back on.
Hi again.
Vinny Jr. grabbed the second for Real. This guy turns into a different animal when it matters. And Rio Ferdinand made his thoughts very clear.
Ballon d'Or! Ballon d'Or! Ballon d'Or! Ballon d'Or! Ballon d'Or! Vinicius has just taken the Ballon d'Or. He's at the Ballon d'Or in the bag now. Has he gone ahead now for the Ballon d'Or?
I knew he missed the drugs test in his playing career. I'd probably give him one now, I would say as well. The biggest Real Madrid-related celebration, though, on the streets of Colombia, where one supporter found a phone that had been dropped on the floor and lost. The moment it was returned to its rightful owner was wholesome indeed. But back on the pitch and 2-0 the scoreline would stay. With that, Real Madrid were Champions League victors again. Honestly, the celebrations weren't even that crazy at first. It was Joselu's first title, but he was quoted as saying that some of his teammates don't even celebrate anymore. It's getting boring. The likes of Toni Kroos winning his 6th, and things were getting sensual between himself and David Alaba. What a way to mark Pride Month. We love to see it. The rest of the side are getting a flight home. Those two, they're sailing back to Madrid. Vinny Jr., meanwhile, was celebrating with fans. Honestly, the Real supporters, they were treating him like a god here. It's no surprise. Under the leadership of Don Carlo's friends and passion tactics, the guy is always a standout performer. Real Madrid's feat here cannot be overlooked. A literal Dorito has got 6 Champions League trophies and Barcelona only have 5 in their history. Speaking of the Catalan side, they became Congrats Football Club once again.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Barcelona fans will be contemplating it all, realizing they're getting a year of banter from Real supporters again. And as for Florentino Perez and Real, they're running out of room in their trophy cabinet. Apparently, they've only got space for another 3 Champions Leagues. Really is perhaps the most first world problem of all time. Someone said they should rent out Tottenham's. Yeah, this is crazy. They're not using it for anything else. So another man that was happy will have been Eric Ten Hag after seeing Jadon Sancho lose in the final. He'll be letting the English winger wear his FA Cup medal when he gets back to Carrington. And as for his English compatriot, Jude Bellingham has spoken more Spanish in this interview than Gareth Bale managed in about 6 years.
Estoy muy feliz porque tengo...
Obviously, Jude extremely excited, obviously very emotional as well. I've been seeing a lot of hate that he's like forcing a narrative about like a struggle or just being, I don't know, upset and emotional. I don't know where this hatred for Jude Bellingham's come from, to be honest with you. Please, can we not take down like the most generational talent we've had since the golden era? For once in our lives, can we just enjoy an actual good footballer and not try and tear them to pieces, please? His mum wasn't letting all that noise get in the way though. She asked for a photo with Jose Mourinho because apparently she's fancied him for years. And Mourinho sliding those DMs later. Don't you worry about it.
Mourinho.
He'll be trying to take Jude back to Turkey with him, although not without competition from the Fiat 500 police. Jude Bellingham's career is actually going to be mental. The guy's doing a FIFA The Journey speedrun. It was heartbreak for Dortmund again, a decade on from that Bayern defeat. They tried to right their wrongs, but it would be no fairy tale farewell for Marco Reus. He is, of course, leaving the club at the end of the season, and his locker room is now empty, like his trophy cabinet there. I'm sorry, that was me. I think it's fair to say most people wanted Dortmund to win, but they are in the news for negative reasons as well, after announcing a sponsorship deal with an arms company. Their fans were protesting this decision at Wembley, and I've got to say, this really does go against pretty much every moral and, like, ideology of Borussia Dortmund. As Verse has said, weapons washing has absolutely no place in the world of football. I really do hope they turn back on this decision, go against their original idea, especially given what those arms are being used for at the moment. No such drama, though, for Real Madrid. They've won the Champions League, and then the next day, they announced Kylian Mbappe.
Do you think that's necessary?
2 losses all season. They win the Champions League, then they sign Kylian Mbappe for free at Hendrick. It's actually rude at this point. Kylian had predicted this transfer all the way back in 2011 on Facebook, and over on Twitter, Vinny Jr. knew what time it was as well. However, it'll have been no surprise whatsoever for you if you even remotely follow Fabrizio Romano. He posted all of his tweets basically about this in an announcement video about Mbappe, and honestly, the guy's ruining transfer windows. Someone said that I should just not follow him. Bruv, do you know how hard that is? He pops up all the time. He's got 20 million followers, fam. Imagine the guy at a gender reveal. He'd be an absolute nightmare. Oh, honestly, babes, I can't wait to find out what the gender of our kid is gonna be. X or Y chromosome, here we go. What do you... Fabrizio, we haven't done the thing yet, so get me if you could. With the attacking options Real Madrid have from next season, our defenders are actually terrified. The price of Mbappe, Rudiger, and Alaba collectively yet is less than a Kit Kat. Kylian is so distracted by becoming a Real player over on Insta that he stopped being French as well. There will be confusion when he arrives at the Euros eating paella instead of a croissant. Obviously, a lot of pictures of him as a youngster in Real Madrid kit. Was always a Real fan, but he was also fond of Chelsea back in the day. A move to West London hasn't come to fruition, no, and Enzo Fernandez will be changing allegiances tomorrow in order to play with a Frenchman. Red Bull Salzburg had tried an audacious attempt to get him to join, but unfortunately their DMs were aired. Meanwhile, PSG, of course, need a replacement for the man that's helped them to so many domestic trophies. United fans will be attempting to sell Anthony to the Parisians so that he doesn't have to play for them anymore. They'll be trying to find his Brazilian passport today. Brazilian forward Rodrigo was also, of course, excited with the prospect of playing alongside Mbappe. They do play slightly different positions, but you would imagine if anyone's going to make way in the front three, it's probably going to be him. He'll have to try and remain excited from the bench. Full name, Rodrigo goes to Arsenal probably in 2 years. Meanwhile, at Barca, and allegedly, they haven't been able to register their new manager Hansi Flick due to financial problems. If this is true, by the way, not being able to register a manager is nuts. How does that even work, man? He's gonna be managing the club from home. The poor guy's gonna have a rude awakening when he arrives for work, but Barca ain't registered him for the Copa del Rey. Barca are gonna have to try and sell Xavi to Real Sociedad to raise funds. Apparently, he kicked a first-team player out of their group WhatsApp chat for the club before leaving himself. That seems unnecessary. You're gone as well, you know, man. The next storyline for Barca simply has to be Pep Guardiola going back to save them. Although when he finds out what the transfer budget is, he'll be cycling swiftly away from Joan Laporta.
Why are you running off, bro?
Speaking of Man City and Pep Guardiola, they have launched legal action on the Premier League. This, of course, because the Premier League are investigating them for a breach of 115 financial charges. They've really played the Uno reverse card on the whole league. That seems a little bit. It comes during the same week that Kevin De Bruyne said he'd be open to a move to Saudi Arabia at this point in his career. Him leaving soon, Guardiola, everyone's dipping before this court case. Pep will be at Job Centre when Man City end up relegated to Shoreditch Power League.
We will be there.
City are basically threatening to increase ticket prices as a protest and stop funding to both women's and youth football across the whole club. They're basically stomping their feet and throwing the toys at the pram over their own foolishness. Probably should have just followed the rules then, lads, really, if we're being honest. Now, elsewhere and at Selhurst Park, we had the eagerly awaited Beta Squad charity match versus AMB. It featured the likes of Chunks, Kai Cenat, Philly and Chris MD with Drewski and Goldbridge as the two managers. What a universe. This one was sensational. Was there footballing ability? No. But it was absolute vibes. 6-6 being the final score here. It was great to see everyone interacting with fans for most of the goals and during stoppages. There were so many of those that we could have done with an extra hour of additional time. Chunks pretending to pull his hamstring, pulling out a Bukayo Saka trademark limp was a personal favourite moment of mine. And a mystery professional player was involved here as well for AMP's team. It wasn't great in the first half, I can't lie. It was looking like it might have been Heady 1 under the mask. A couple people were saying that it was me that was the mystery player. I'm off with a mystery injury as well. Apparently, after some investigation, it was Jed Spence, former Forest and Tottenham man. He's been offered a move to Genoa as well the day after in Serie A, after being outperformed by Chris MD. Did they scout see that he got pocketed by Danny Aarons? Late on in the day, and Mark Goldbridge said, I'm gonna do this myself. He whacked on the shin pads, ready to jump on and go player manager.
Oh my god. There he is. Look at this twat. They do it on purpose. As if you'd go to Ellen Road as the manager and wear a full kit as the manager.
Daniel Sturridge made a shock entrance as well coming on in this one. He did score in this one, but also was denied by United traying between the sticks for Beta Squad. Imagine saying that in 2021, man. On the sidelines, and one kid with a R9 trim attempted to become a pitch invader with pretty disastrous results. He quite literally did not touch grass. But unfortunately, that would be a sign of things to come, as things were unfortunately ruined before a potential penalty shootout with a mass invasion. Opinions on the game, as I said, genuine vibes. I really thought they did a good job from an entertainment standpoint. It is a massive shame that we didn't get the penalty shootout within the first charity match to get that, but the lads that organised it and that took part should genuinely be proud still. It was a really good event, really unreal effort, and loads of money raised for charity, which is the main thing. Now, Euros preparation, international friendlies are starting already. England played the first of theirs against Bosnia at St James's Park, and in the end strolled to a 3-0 victory. But it took a while to take the lead. Cole Palmer scored on his full debut, and fans were already getting into the cold spirit in the crowd.
Real bad man, no muggle in a shop.
Bukayo Saka might need to be scared for his starting 11 spot if he's not too busy being terrified by a crocodile on international duty. Bukayo Tomori, of course, was not included in the initial 30-man squad, and Milan fans made their thoughts known.
We love you, Tomori. Fuck Southgate. We love you, Tomori. Fuck Southgate.
Trent Alexander-Arnold was sensational in this one, grabbed himself a goal late on, and stage one of it officially coming home is done. Lionel Messi has released a new energy drink this week, and if you look closely, he's literally nabbed prime. Lionel Messi has copied Olajide Olatunji's homework, man. This really is a full circle moment. It's basically the Argentine version, with crazy flavors or whatever, but the branding looks the same. Leo will be single-handedly kicking prime out of Argentina. He's gonna be on an undercard with KSI at this rate. The court case is gonna be crazy, I'm not gonna lie. And Deji will be getting emotional giving evidence. Now, Dej, look, listen, we've got a lead on this one.
I hate it. I
Lead, yeah, dog, yeah. It's not a great choice of words, mate, to be honest. One of the flavors of this new drink, by the way, is called Orange d'Or, like Ballon d'Or. Jesus fucking Christ. I sue him, lads. Genuinely, he doesn't deserve to have a drinks company if that's what he's naming. That's what Leo's up to. I wonder what his former Barca teammate Neymar is doing. Neymar slid into my girl's DMs with a whole ass wife and kids. Fucking hell, man. This guy's actually a menace. I knew there was something a little bit suspicious going on when I saw his streaming setup. This guy's actually a DM warrior. He's an addict to chirpsing. This is crazy. He said they caught me, so I might as well go down swinging. He's been more prolific on Instagram than he has been on the pitch in the last 12 months. Elsewhere and over in Turkey, there is a serious managerial appointment, as Jose Mourinho has become the new Fenerbahce manager. He has been tasked with the job of winning them their first Turkish Super League in a decade, and honestly, him alongside Turkish football is going to cause a nuclear reaction. The football gods, they're really playing with fire, combining these two things together. He was quoted as saying that the Fenerbahce colours and the shirt are his skin before waving a Fenerbahce shirt around, and the applause and the reception that he got is crazy. This guy is giving the serious dictator aura right now. He looks like he's about to make problematic but extremely convincing political views. Slap this in black and white and he's a Hungarian dictator. They will be falling out with his players when Edin Dzeko reminds me of the time that Man City beat his Chelsea side. Respect. On Sky Sports now, and Wayne Rooney appeared on The Overlap with a pretty shocking admission.
I like to have a sleep in the afternoon as well, and when I go to sleep, sleep with the, the hairdryer on. I have an hairdryer on, like blowing in my face. And sometimes...
A hot hairdryer?
It's cold, but...
Look, there's the Sir Alex Ferguson hairdryer treatment, and then there's this boss. Roy Keane's face is an absolute picture here. Has the man not discovered what a fan is? Why does he need a hairdryer on his face? Meanwhile, down in the Championship and staying in the Championship, Leeds United have had a large portion of their shares bought by Red Bull, which will see the logo act as a shirt sponsor for them next season. Their first signing seems a little bit left field, I'm gonna be real. Meanwhile, Sergio Perez will have a difficult time arriving for training. Now, in Italy, and there's reports that Romelu Lukaku may well want a move to AC Milan. This man is running out of clubs that he's allowed to go to. He's collecting Italian football clubs like it's match attacks. If I'm HMRC, I'm investigating this man. He's had far too many residences in the last 5 years. He better be renting in Milan, because there's no point buying a house there, bro. You'll be gone again in 12 months. Meanwhile, Inter fans, after of course he had a long spell at the club, will be getting violent when they see him walk back into San Siro. It's all change at Napoli as well. After a disastrous season for them, they've appointed Antonio Conte to try and steady the ship and bring them back to a Serie A title charge. This is actually such a wavy combination, Napoli and Conte, but he won't be finding it too wavy when he actually sees the table from this season. He'll be going bald again just from seeing the squad that he's got to work with. He's an aggressive man as well, an emotional one at that. He'll be bringing out all the punches when Kavica Kvaratskhelia misses a sitter.
I prefer to kill him.
Tensions will be high when Victor Osimhen goes for a handshake, but he's only scored 3 goals all season. He'll be ripping that mask off like he's an anti-vaxxer. In Germany, and there's... honestly, I'm laughing because otherwise you'll cry. National team manager Julian Nagelsmann had to step in after a German broadcaster conducted a survey asking the public whether there were too many black players in the national team squad for the Euros. First of all, that is a mental question to even feel the need to ask. But what's even madder is that 21% of the responses said yes, there need to be less black dons in the team. It's only about 4, fam. If it was like 15, those 21% are going to be feeling mixed emotions when Jamal Musiala scores the winner in the final. Toni Kroos voted anonymously. I know it already. If Antonio Rudiger was in trouble, they would help trouble. Do you understand how crazy this is? Meanwhile, Harry Kane's seen the results, and now that he's playing at Bayern, he'll be attempting to get into this side simply because he's Caucasian.
Well, all right, lads. Guten Tag.
Now, Matt Hummels has got a lot of thinking to do after Borussia Dortmund's defeat in the Champions League final, and he's narrowed down his options for next season to staying at Borussia Dortmund, leaving Borussia Dortmund, or retiring. So he's not narrowed it down at all. They're literally every single option that he could have. At Werder Bremen, and there's some harsh words and harsh realities for Naby Keita. The former Liverpool man was voted as the Bundesliga flop of the season by his fellow players. By his fellow players! The fact they even have a poll for that from the other players is a violation competition. What a fall from grace. If this guy didn't have hamstrings made of baby bells, he would have actually made it at Anfield. He'll be going to fight his peers and the other footballers in the league before picking up another groin injury on the way over. Meanwhile, German basketball player Dennis Schroeder is adding a new string to his bow. Serious versatility because he made his debut in the world of football at a 6-tier German side this week. Gotta be a target man, surely, otherwise it's a waste. In Spain, and Barca goalkeeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen has got a new passion in life, becoming a barista. He would genuinely rather work for Starbucks than for Barcelona. He'd probably get paid more at Starbucks than at Barcelona. His reflexes are going to be something else at the Euros after 7 shots of espresso. Current club captain Sergio Roberto could be on his way out of the Nou Camp. I say could very loosely because no decision seems to be getting made. Dependent on the time of the day he's staying or he's leaving. Genuinely, Xavi in his final act as Barca manager is swaying back and forth between keeping him or getting rid of him. Meanwhile, Manchester United DM Casemiro has been announced as a shareholder of Marbella. It's time to learn Marbellese, mate. His legs are fully gone. He's going for a rave. He doesn't want to play football anymore. In France, and Jules Koundé arrived for international duty in typical Jules Koundé fashion. His football boots for the Euros are going to be a little bit unconventional, I'm not going to lie. Can't help but feel he'll need to concentrate a little bit more when Cristiano Ronaldo runs in behind. Meanwhile, staying on the French vibe, Thierry Henry has announced the squad that he's taking to the Olympics. Full of players, of course, that won't be playing at Euro 2024. It features the likes of Jean-Philippe Mateta, Alexander Lacazette, and Warren Zaire-Emery. Thierry will be celebrating down on the touchline when Mateta scores 7 goals in 1 game. Michael Olise thought he was getting called up for the Euros and will be left confused when he finds himself on a bus to Paris instead of a plane to Germany. Meanwhile, Son Etienne gained promotion back to Ligue 1 after winning a playoff game against Metz. They were excited, of course, but did leave Metz's dressing room in absolute shambles. I mean, in fairness, they did try to fix it before abandoning it completely. But how do you even break the ceiling? I give up. Now that it's time for your goals of the week, we've got yet more bangers for you this time. First of all, we head over to Bulgaria, of all places, where Brazilian Pedrinho has got a free kick from long distance, and he's absolutely pummeled it into the top corner. The second goal is also a free kick. Don't know what's going on with set pieces right now. And this one is a classy little hit from Jamie Gullen of Dundalk in Ireland. Perfect free kick right into the top corner. Lovely stuff. But finally, if we're talking distance over in the MLS, and for a second week in a row, Real Salt Lake are involved. This time it's from even further out as Chicho Arango on the halfway line notices the goalkeeper off his line and loops it over him from a different postcode. Hello all and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Over in Uruguay, and I don't say this lightly, okay, but this might be my favorite clip that's ever made it into FTW. I might just let it run, to be honest with you. As we've got a guy being played through on goal, okay, a defender realizes the situation, rushes to get involved, and then falls over. A terrible attempt at a shot still goes past the goalkeeper. Then another defender decides, nah, you know what, clearing it off the line is overrated. And just when you think that's the end of the clip, where the fuck has this come from? The other dogs, by the way, at the shelter aren't gonna believe that he ended up on TV. All of this chaos happening and then a fan in the background's getting attacked by an XL bully. There is so much to unpack in this clip. The dog genuinely flat-packed me. This was a good enough clip as it was before the dog started charging into the mix. Absolutely sensational stuff. Over in Saudi Arabia, and the Kings Cup final took place. It was 1-1 in the end, but Al Hilal were victorious on penalties against Ronaldo's Al Nassr. Now, just before the 90th minute, an Al Hilal defender got himself a stupid red card for headbutting an opponent. Ruben Neves told him how it was. This guy's the most reckless baller of all time, by the way. He's had scraps with everybody you can think of. Heung-min Son will be delighted seeing him get sent off after their run-in. Ronaldo in extra time was getting some suspect treatment, and he almost grabbed himself goal of the week, only the woodwork denying him. But in the end, as Al Hilal won on penalties to deny Ronaldo again, he was left emotional down on the bench. He's not won anything in Saudi Arabia yet. That's actually a little bit crazy. Al Hilal were down to 9 after extra time, you know. There were 2 dons in the shower, pause, and they still lost. Elsewhere at Al Hilal, and there's some pranks going on. Renan Lodi decided to tie Neymar's shoelaces together so that he couldn't put them on. Meanwhile, Neymar reacted by slashing his tires. These seem like slightly different crimes, if I'm gonna... I feel like he's elevated that, maybe just a little bit. Now, if you watched AFCON and you watched Equatorial Guinea, of all teams, you'll be familiar with Emiliano Ansu. too, who's kind of their hero. He's their captain, talisman. Well, this week, there's the news that he was actually never eligible to play for them in the first place. That's because he technically played 1 minute of football for Spain during his career. It wasn't even Spain's senior team, it was the under-21s. But because he was over the age of 21 when he played that 1 minute, it technically means that he wasn't eligible to change allegiance even though he has family from Equatorial Guinea. Can't lie, it feels like carnage might be about to ensue after this decision. Yeah, I'll get myself out. In MLS football now, and Orlando City managed to score a slightly messy goal this week.
Here, Facundo Torres couldn't get it out from underneath his feet. Given away though. Torres taking off the ball. Angulo trying to get it through. Mauricio Pineda blocked it. Still can't be cleared. And it trickles in.
The football's left him.
Another man that will be making a move over to MLS will be Marco Reus. He's decided he's going to be signing for LA Galaxy after his move away from Dortmund. But because another team wanted him originally and made it known to the league, LA Galaxy have to pay a discovery fine. It's like compensation to the team that said they wanted him first. The game's actually so far gone. It's crazy. Staying on a North American vibe, and Columbus Crew will be facing off against Pachuca in the CONCACAF Champions Cup final. Because Pachuca play 8,000 feet above sea level, they're actually having to do like specific training and breathing exercises just be able to like complete the 90 minutes. Staying on the Mexican vibe, and their international friendly versus Bolivia had an interesting guest on the camera, and one nation hoping to join them in CONCACAF is Greenland. So I think had their application to like UEFA denied back in the day. Obviously like the biggest island in the world, but not many people actually live there, not particularly known for its football. They have decided to apply for CONCACAF. The place names, city names in Greenland, yeah. If an American tried to say them, they would have a stroke. So I don't know if this is a good idea.
What's wrong with y'all niggas? What's wrong with you?
In Argentina now, and we've got one of the best own goals I've seen all season, let alone this week. Some serious technique to pull off this slice. In the Women's African Cup of Nations now, and there were disgraceful scenes between DR Congo and Morocco. As first of all, one player is sent off for an outrageous challenge when they didn't even attempt to get the ball. But not only that, after already getting herself a red card, she decided to go out swinging, quite literally, smacking a Morocco player in the face. I mean, this is like so outrageous. I don't think I've ever seen violence like this in an actual international tournament before. Over in Argentina now, and one River Plate fan was thrown a birthday party by her Boca Juniors supporting family. She thought she'd been delivered the perfect cake, only to cut into it. Yeah, it's a shithousery award from the fam. That's absolutely outrageous. I don't think she'll be wanting to change allegiances, though, after seeing Edinson Cavani's shocking miss for Boca Juniors against River Plate. I'm actually not even sure how he's managed to miss from that side, to be honest with you, but it didn't stop one excited Boca Juniors fan attempting to take him back home with him. Meanwhile, Servette were crowned champions of the Swiss Cup on penalties. They had the opportunity to win earlier on in the shootout, and one fan was ready to run onto the pitch with his flag, only for the player to miss it and for him to have to run back to the stand. Closer to home, and one Swansea staff member has been sacked for betting against his own club to lose over 130 times. Meanwhile, one League Two side decided to conduct a signing announcement outside of Costa Coffee in the middle of the town. That really is Coca-Cola League Two heritage, isn't it, if we're being honest with you? Although the drug deal, that definitely happened, maybe less so. Now, over in Sweden and at Brommapoikana, Olof Mellberg, who used to play for Aston Villa, is not dressing up like a usual manager. Dress code casual when he's on the touchline. Why does he look like he's left the house to go get a Mr. Whippy, man? Come on. Staying in Sweden, we've got an unusual pitch invader. Someone's been watching too much Beta Squad, that's all I'm saying. Understandably, a pause in play here from the referee. You saw an unbelievable own goal from Argentina earlier on, and those vibes continue in Estonia, where I genuinely don't think you could do this again if you tried. This is actually spectacular, like a Ballon d'Or Puskás level own goal. We're back in Argentina, though, for this clever free kick routine that's even more ridiculous because it's been pulled off by the goalkeeper. So many questions that need answering on this one, but we'll move on. And elsewhere now, we are about to witness the end of a footballing career. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And the essence, the vibe of Sunday League football can be captured by all ages and all locations, as proven by this kid who's going for the almightiest of off-the-ball incidents with a kung fu kick that could have got him sent to a juvenile correction centre. This is so unprovoked as well. I don't even understand. He's made no connection. On to the weird stuff though now. First of all, we head off to Wales, and Llantwit Major, but even that's the new goal goalkeeper's kit for next season, and it's not quite the usual. I don't know whether the town or the area that they're from is associated with the dish fish and chips, whether it originated there or something like that. But they've taken heavy inspiration with the It's a Fish and Chip football kit. I for one, am involved. I will be copping that. Thank you very much. And finally, we head over to Hong Kong, where one club may want to invest in a couple more substitutes. It's in a game between HKFC and Sham Shui Po. HKFC only had one substitute on the bench, and that was a man called Justin Fung, who is a goalkeeper. So when they actually ended up with an injury to an outfielder, the only person they could bring on was their backup goalkeeper, who played as an outfielder whilst wearing one of his teammates' shirts. There's being underprepared, and then there's this. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.